This is the 911 Calls Podcast with the operator.
Okay, hi, yes, you've pressed play once again on the 911 Calls Podcast, and somehow, against all odds and probably your better judgment, you're still here. I'm the operator, which honestly sounds more mysterious than it feels when you're recording in sweatpants. So accurate, so aspirational. So, picture this. I'm on a nature kick. Translation, I watched 3 hiking YouTubers and bought a titanium spork. I lace up, I head to the trail here, thinking this is it, baby. I'm Bear Grylls with the Fitbit. 2 minutes in and I discover I'm less leave no trace and more I left my inhaler. And as I'm huffing past a sign that says beware of falling rocks, my brain, helpful as ever, reminds me, rocks aren't your problem, the operator. People are. Today, we hit the trail for something truly terrifying because sometimes the scariest thing on the trail isn't a bear or a snake or realizing your trail mix is just peanuts because you picked through it all and ate all of the gummy bears and Reese's peanut butter cups out of it. Sometimes the scariest thing is a man in the woods. And no, I'm not talking about the man versus bear thing, but a real terrifying man who decides the forest is his hunting ground. And not in the I'm just here putting meat in the freezer sense either. A man who was a real life national forest serial killer. There's a recurring, unsettling question in this story. Can a person really start as a serial killer at 61? I'll give you the answer that we'll circle back to a little later on. No. Yes. We'll figure it out along the trail. First, who are we talking about on today's episode, and where exactly are we, and what in the heck trails are we even going along? Well, the who in this case is a terrible old monster named Gary Michael Hilton. No relation to Gary, Indiana.
I think I prefer the beast of Blood Mountain. I set the record. I'm the oldest serial killer in American history. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, that's Gary. Today's case spans 3 states and millions of acres of lush greenery that can turn very dark. The Chattahoochee in Georgia, the Apalachicola in Florida, and the Pisgah and Nantahala National Forests in North Carolina. We've got dates, October through December of 2007 and New Year's 2008. We've got names, Irene and John Bryant, Cheryl Dunlap, Meredith Emerson, and we've got a 911 call that, when we get there, changes the chase from rumor to exact coordinates. So let's jump in. Stay hydrated. Avoid the creek water. Let's set the table with one strange, almost funny if it weren't horrifying fact. Before he ever called himself the Beast of Blood Mountain, his line, not mine, Gary Michael Hilton served in the U.S. Army on a unit named for Davy Crockett. The platoon was tasked with a tiny tactical nuclear device you could practically picnic next to if you didn't mind getting a little sunburnt. It sounds like a tale that a guy would tell to look dangerous at a bar. It's not. It happened. And if you're thinking, who screens people for the Handheld Nuke Club? Great question. File that question because the answer echoes later. If you bookmarked the DSM-2 with disorders and symptoms that lined up with Gary Hilton, it'd end up looking more like a pom-pom than a book. From a child, Gary's personality had been brewing like some evil soup in a witch's cauldron.
From a child, a little child, I was always fascinated with death and destruction and guns and war. As a child, at 5, 6 years old, constantly. I've just always been fascinated with it. At 14, I was seeing the head of the Dade County Child Guidance Clinic, who was a psychiatrist. I saw him for a year or two, and he just flat told me, you have a sociopathic character disorder.
Okay, let's map these wilderness locations I mentioned out a bit so you get a good lay of the land. First, we have Blood Mountain, Georgia, the most used day hike in the state. It's beautiful, it's busy, which, depending on your intentions, is either safety in numbers or perfect cover for your chaos. Apalachicola National Forest, Florida, 1,000 square miles of pine and swamp and sinkholes. Leon Sink's geological area is for people who like their hikes with the side of, the ground goes away now. Pisgah and Nantahala, North Carolina, old woods, switchbacks, the kind of place where your phone says, good luck, champ, and then drops to one bar of hope and prayer. Gary Hilton weaponized open space. He treated trailheads like lobbies, watching and waiting, clocking routines. He chose places that feel safe because others are around. And he had a dog named Dandy, a red retriever, man's best alibi. You're probably wondering, how does a person go from hiker with a dog to serial killer? The short answer is slowly, then apparently suddenly. There's a long tail of allegations and petty crimes, a mind that liked to posture as soldier, scientist, artist, comedian. His words, all at once. 4 months, 4 confirmed murder scenes across 3 states. More are suspected. But we aren't going to sprint. We're going to walk this trail the way you're supposed to. Eyes up, attention on the terrain, noting all the little oddities that make the big picture snap into focus. Years ago, a ranger told me, city folks think the woods are quiet. They're not. They're just quiet about you. That line has lived rent-free in my head because the national forests know how to keep secrets. It swallows sound. It eats tracks. If you want to hide a crime, you could do worse than 750,000 acres of Georgia pines or Florida swamp. But the forest also keeps receipts. Scuffs in the dirt, a bayonet's puncture in the tire sidewall, a camera that a killer forgot to truly delete all the pictures from. A trail of ATM withdrawals where the man in a long-sleeved patterned shirt and a badly MacGyvered tape mask think the disguise makes him invisible. It's a Monday in late October 2007 where we start. Pisgah National Forest, Transylvania County. Yes, that's the actual name. No capes, but lots of switchbacks. John and Irene Bryant pull into a small gravel lot like they've done 100 times. They're not braving anything. They're just going for a walk together. 80 and 84 years old. Married for 55 years. The kind of couple who's logged more miles on foot than I do on root beer flights. Gary has been watching them from the parking lot trailhead. They looked like perfect marks for his allegedly first victims. He waits until they're a bit down the trail and then makes his approach. He's forceful and immediate. He tries to block their way.
So I kind of geared up, and so I said to John Bryant, you know what? We're going to take your credit card and run it. And he said, I'll go to hell. And he just brushed right past me. And I deployed the baton and hit him on the back of his left knee. So the guy whirls around. He was a big guy, a big, strong man, just as fit as can be. He whirls around, he's carrying this trekking stick, this hiking stick that they love to carry. So he goes after me with that. So I just brushed it away and then whack, hit him on the side of the head then pulled out a pepper, sprayed him in the face. He steps forward a few feet and goes down. And then he does the craziest thing. I can't believe this. He said, "Irene, I can't see. Hit him." Well, I just beaten him down, and he's a big guy, 6 foot plus, and now he's telling his wife to fight me. And bless her heart, Irene, she was all heart. She springs right into a fencing position, like on guard, and pow, and stabs me in the chest. I go, ah. And I brush it to one side and whack, hit her with the expander. She goes down. Then I'm going to take him with me. Bryant never gets up, but he does another crazy thing. While he's sitting there, he pulls his wallet out, and he takes his credit cards out, and he throws them. Inexplicable.
There's a nearly throwaway detail here that becomes a klaxon later on. At about 4 p.m., Irene tried to call 911. It doesn't connect. Out there, 1 bar is optimism, half a bar is prayer. The call never lands. What does land are signs, subtle, then loud. There's scuffs in the dirt near the trailhead, a pattern of impact you only notice if you walk it twice. And an absence. John's sturdy hiking stick is no longer just a prop. Somebody used it, and not just for balance. By that evening, they don't come home. The next day, their ATM card does. At 7:35 p.m. on October 22nd, someone hits a bank in Ducktown, Tennessee, 75 miles away, and takes out $300. That's not a lost card, that's a vector. And if you're thinking, interstate in 24 hours? Yes, because roads are rivers in this case, and predators know the currents. Weeks pass. The forest does its best to impression of a vault. On November 9th, searchers find Irene, close to where the car had been. Blunt force trauma. John's not there. Somewhere between the switchbacks and Ducktown, the day hike became a kidnapping. In February of 2008, long after the holidays and the headlines have washed the calendar clean, John is found in Nantahala National Forest, downslope, a gunshot to the head. It's clinical to say cause of death. It's truer to say this is what it looks like when someone turns open space into a trap. Let's pin the map, because with Hilton, the map is motive. Stake out the trailhead lot longer, wait longer, watch and select. Short approach, trails are long but narrow. Hilton closes the distance. First violence near the car, fast control. Move the scene. ATM far away. Cash extraction while the clock is still running. He repeats this rhythm, same song, new verse, different forest. 6 weeks later, he's in Florida. December 1st, 2007, Leon Sinks Geological Area, Apalachicola National Forest. If Pisgah is all ridges and rhododendron, Apalachicola is pines, palmetto, and holes in the earth that casually decide to just become lakes. Cheryl Hodges Dunlap, a nurse, Sunday school teacher, great friend, goes to read a hardback in the woods before dinner plans. Simple. Good. This is normal for her.
I'd staked out the trail and I had binoculars. I was covered with a mosquito net.
I see.
For camouflage. I finally had to get somebody because I had a little bit of peanut butter, some fruit juju, 1 Ritalin, a few spoons of coffee, and I had to take someone. I put all her stuff together that I'd taken, her car keys and her cell phone and everything, and said, I'm going to let you go. But first I'm going to go into town and run your credit card just to make sure Good. I said, come on, let's go. I'm going to train you to a tree. And I have a chain and a lock. And she grabs it and goes right down and to put it on herself. She was already used to the drill. And I kind of had a feeling that she was going to try to not click that lock. You know what I mean? Just pretend it was locked. And as soon as she was down there and with her back to me, I had my pistol in a fanny pack there, a little 22. And I pulled it out and shot her in the back of the head. Cheryl Dunlap, she was all religion. And it gave me a kind of a perverse amusement to think I just terrorized an entire church, okay? I just have affected their life for the rest of their life. They'll never forget it. And all those little kids that she taught Sunday school to find out that she was killed and her head was cut off and her hands were cut off, it could haunt them. And I have to admit,
Yeah.
I kind of like, ha, 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 you know. But she said something that really grabbed me, kind of rattled me. I was letting her go. Yeah, that trick. Yeah, he's a tricky guy. She said, before you die, ask Jesus to forgive you for what you've done. And she just said, kind of rattled me.
The first evening she missed dinner. The next day she missed church. A friend finds her dog at home, but not her car. On December 3rd, her white Camry turns up off Crawfordville Highway, nosed into the trees. One tire's been punctured, sidewall, not tread, after the car is parked. That matters. Later, a tool mark examiner will match those perfect little wounds to a bayonet Hilton stashed on a trail. Who has a bayonet? The same guy who thinks duct tape is a disguise and withdrawing money from an ATM is going to be a fast payout. Apparently, he doesn't know about withdrawal limits. He's going to be rich after about 7 months if that duct tape mask stays affixed to his dumb face. Bank records say Cheryl cashed a check at 11:17 a.m. on the 1st, then on the 2nd, 3rd, and the 4th. $700 whole dollars in total, yanked from a Hancock Bank ATM on West Tennessee Street. The camera, bless the indifferent eye of a retail security camera, catches a man in a blue and white patterned shirt, glasses, hat, and a face covered in generous layers of duct tape. It's comedy at first glance, a nightmare at second. Witnesses near Crawfordville say they saw a white Astro van. They saw a long knife sheath on a belt. They saw a red retriever. The dog will come up again. Often. Cheryl doesn't come home. On December 15th, a hunter finds a body just off a forest road, pulled under brush. The head and hands have been removed post-mortem. A medical examiner will determine later on. Pisgah and Apalachicola are very different forests, but they gave Hilton the same affordances, trailheads with sightlines, places to watch people park and gear up, enough traffic to mask a lurker, even emptiness to swallow screams, and arteries out, highways that turn mountains and swamps into on-ramps. He learned that if you make the first move near the cars, you can shove the rest of the crime off into a thicket where even helicopters can't see very clearly. And then there are the receipts the forest keeps in spite of itself. That peculiar puncture in the tire, the smudge on a sleeping bag, the cigarette butt with a name, the digital breadcrumb trail of an ATM pinging, ticking across 3 counties while a red dog rides shotgun. Soon the witness stack in Florida gets tall and fast. Late November, guy in a white Chevy Astrovan wanted a jump. Didn't seem like he needed it. His car was running. December 1st, saw a man rummaging in a white Camry by the woods. December 10th, blue and white patterned shirt, big knife sheath on the left hip. Mid-December, he told me I looked like that murdered girl. These are not plot devices. They're people doing what we hope we will do when the weirdness bumps into our day. See something and say something. They don't know yet. They're describing the same man, a killer who left a mountain couple broken and will soon corner a 24-year-old black belt on a Georgia ridgeline. So we've set the lattice. North Carolina teaches you Hilton's opener. Florida shows you his refinements. Next up is Georgia, Blood Mountain, where the plan collides with a woman who refuses to be a passive character in his script. Before we step onto that trail, one more curiosity because I can't help myself. Transylvania County, where Pisgah hugs Asheville, isn't named for Dracula. It's Latin. Transylvania translates to the phrase across the woods. The Bryants stepped literally across the woods, so will Meredith Emerson, and between those crossings sits a single, unremarkable sentence that will yank this case from fog into focus via a voice we can all recognize. First, we spot a dog bowl on a ridge, a baton, a fight, and a mistake Hilton keeps making. He underestimates the people that he picks. It's New Year's Day on Blood Mountain. A chalkboard note by Meredith Emerson's front door reads, "Taking Ella hiking." Blood Mountain isn't spooky because of the name. It's spooky because it's the most used day hike in Georgia, and those crowds make you feel safe. And they also make it easy for a patient watcher to blend in. Meredith Emerson, age 24, University of Florida grad, black belt, dog mom to Ella, heads up the Spur Trail on New Year's Day 2008. Witnesses place her with an older man carrying a baton and hiking with a red retriever. If you're thinking, wait, he's back to the dog as an icebreaker routine? Yeah, because Dandy is as much a tool for Gary as the bayonet is.
I walked up the trail with her for a ways, and several people saw me with her.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, one guy, and it turns out that he was law enforcement. Yeah. One guy said, "Are you with her?" And I said, "No." That should have killed it right there.
Moments later, alone with Meredith on the trail, the former Army soldier brandished his bayonet blade and prepared to strike. But subduing her wouldn't be nearly as easy as he expected. Meredith Emerson was trained in martial arts and ready for the aging maniac. You confront her with the bayonet, she attacks the weapon.
She shocked me. She had real quick hands, and she grabbed the knife blade. She cut her hand slightly. Like I said, the bayonet was not sharp. She grabbed it, and I was so slack, I was like lollygagging around. Didn't have a good, firm grip on it. And she twisted it right out of my hand.
So she disarms you.
But she loses control of the bayonet, too, at the same time.
Now you know you've badly miscalculated. You resort to your second go-to weapon, the police baton.
And she just proceeded to grab the baton and took that out of my hand.
So now you're getting your ass kicked by a girl in the woods.
No.
Sounds like it.
Not at all.
Really? I sensed at this moment that pressing Hilton might help reveal just how prideful and heartless he is. To get inside his head, I needed to get under his skin.
What do you think?
You're armed, she's not. You have, what, 40 or 50 pounds on her. Not very manly of you, Mr. Hilton. You pick a weak victim. An Army soldier would call that a punk move.
No one was there but her and me, and I'm telling you frankly, even the best of us have bad days. Okay? And no, it wasn't a punk move, because guess what happened then? After she took the bat, she took the bayonet, what happened then?
You had to hand fight her, you said.
And what happened then?
Well, you overpowered her just barely, it sounds like.
No, not just barely.
No?
Where did you get that at?
Well, you said to the police, I had to hand fight her. I probably have multiple fractures in my right hand.
Yes,
and
that's right.
I still couldn't get control of her. She would feign or pretend that I was in control and then start fighting again. So I had to hit her a number of times. Straight punches to the face or the head.
Right, but I had control of her. I had her with my left hand the whole time. So what happened? I beat her ass.
Can I ask you this? Empathy, mercy, decency, did those ideas ever register with you at all?
Yes. I have 4 different personalities. A soldier, a scientist, an artist, and a comedian.
Hilton says he has multiple personalities, to which he ascribes 4 respective professions, though he is qualified in none.
The soldier and the scientist, they're totally rational, unemotional. The artist is concerned with textures and feelings and emotions, and the comedian wants to make people happy. The soldier personality is emotionless. Kill them all, let God sort them out. That's the soldier mentality.
Somewhere near the intersection of trails, he flashes a blade. She doesn't freeze, she fights. She takes control of the baton, at least for a moment. She goes for the knife. She makes him work for it. That matters in what comes next and in what comes out of his mouth later. After control on the trail comes to the script. Move her off, restrain, relocate, just as he'd done before. Then the money part comes in. He starts running her ATM card, except he doesn't get any money. Not really, because Meredith gives him wrong pins. Wrong on purpose. Those failed withdrawals paint a route. January 1st, 15 miles from the mountain. January 2nd, he tries again with another pin that she gives him. 40 miles away. January 3rd, 70 miles away. Forensic road flares. She's buying time with the bad numbers. Meanwhile, the search kicks off. Friends and deputies, GBI, volunteers, helicopters, throwing infrared across 1,000,000 trees, and witness reports cohere into a silhouette. Older, white Astrovan, red dog, long-sleeve patterned shirt, baton. A former boss hears the description and thinks, I know that man. And he calls it in. The circle tightens. And then a witness with a cell phone breaks the case wide open. Here we go.
Look at 911. What's the exact location? I had the person of interest in that missing woman case is at this Chevron gas station on Ashford Dunwoody. Chevron gas station at Ashford Dunwoody? Yeah. The man is there. The van is here. The dog is here, the red dog, and I saw the man's face, and I've been watching the news, and I know it's him. I know it's him. He's got a green long-sleeve sweatshirt, and he's wearing a hat, and he's emptying all the stuff out of his van. Pillows and a blanket, and it looks like he's got a sleeping bag right now. Taking out all the trash. It's definitely, and the dumpster is looking around like he is as guilty as sin. Okay, sir, and the dumpster is at the rear of the location? Yeah, the dumpster, well, it's kind of right in the front. It's right by the car wash. Okay. I can go take him down if you want. No, sir, stay right there. Okay. Okay, hold on, sir. He looks like he's finishing up. You guys got to hurry. He's got stuff in bags that he's emptied onto the ground, and he's taking load by load to this strip behind the car wash. This is the third backpack we've seen take to the dumpster. I'm just shaking. You guys, is there somebody in the room? Yes, sir. Here we go. Here comes the cops. Yes. You police are there? Yes. Yes. They got him. They got him. I mean, they don't have him yet, but they're getting out. They got him now. Here, 2 cruisers. Hold up on them. 2 of the cabs.
Unromantic heroism. A witness sees something they just can't shake and make the call. The chase goes from rumor to coordinates, just like that. At the scene, officers stop him before bleach and time can erase his van. In the dumpster, a folding police baton, high-tech boots, gloves, a jacket, chain, padlock, a blue backpack, a U.S. forestry citation. In the van, camping gear, duffels, maps, BB pistols, tape, dog food, and a camera whose deleted files aren't. Later, on a trail in Georgia, he'll tell investigators where to find his bayonet. Later still, a tool mark examiner will match that blade to the surgical wounds found in Cheryl's Camry tire. We're not done on Blood Mountain, not yet, because during his interrogation, he'll say the part that tells you everything about his math. He says, once you take someone, you either kill them or you get caught. He thinks it's a law of nature. Meredith disagreed for 4 days with fists and feints and wrong pins, and then a stranger at a Chevron finished her sentence for her. A swift drive from the gas station, apprehension, and we find ourselves sitting in the interview room. Not for Hilton's boasts. Heaven knows there are hours of it, but for the telltales. And we walk the narrow legal bridge that takes him from a Georgia plea to a Florida death sentence. Interrogation rooms don't resemble those on TV. There's no mirrored wall, no mood lighting, no supermodel in a pantsuit who's just trying to be the tough, reluctant cop who just wants to be taken seriously. Instead, it's just fluorescent truth serum and a table that wobbles. Hilton talks a lot because he loves the sound of his own bloviation more than silence. He calls himself a genius. He quotes himself repeatedly like he's some philosopher on a creepy mountaintop. He calls what he did hunting. He splits himself into that soldier, scientist, artist, and comedian personalities, as if labels let you unring a bell. But here's the only part of his monologue that moves the story. He trades information. He'll lead them to Meredith if Georgia takes death off the table. They do. He pleads guilty in Hall County on January 31st, 2008, to life in prison. He takes them to a remote track in Dawson Forest. He shows them where he ditched the bayonet on Blood Mountain. He gives them a map that only he had, and it draws a bigger circle than Georgia. Florida has an ear to the ground as Hilton is pressed a state away, because while Georgia gets a conviction, Florida has a nurse and teacher named Cheryl whose body was found with her head and hands removed, an ATM recording of a man in a blue and white patterned shirt, a Camry with a bayonet signature in its sidewall, and a van that coughed up a baton, boots, and a camera with deleted files that Hilton didn't delete enough. Here's how Florida turns that into a death sentence. Although Georgia has made a deal, Florida isn't as lenient. Witnesses place him in and around Apalachicola in late November and mid-December, asking for those jumps for a car that doesn't need it, wearing the same patterned shirt as the tape mask guy, and carrying a long knife sheath. The ATM video shows the patterned shirt, the glasses, the hat, the duct tape improv face, 3 withdrawals, December 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and 2 more attempts that were both declined. A hunter finds Cheryl on December 15th near a forest road covered with brush. Later, a fire pit yields charred fragments believed to be her head and hands. A medical examiner testifies that the dismemberment was post-mortem. From the Chevron dumpster, they exhume a baton, boots, gloves, chain, padlock, jacket, backpack, and a U.S. forestry citation that reads like a breadcrumb with a date. From his van, they pull a sleeping bag with Cheryl's DNA on it. And then we head to Tallahassee in February of 2011. A jury hears all of it, plus his own words from that 5-hour drive south. I lost my mind for a while, he says, and nothing before September. And the jailhouse bragged to a fellow inmate about pulling it off on a busy highway. They convict. They recommend death unanimously. The judge agrees, weighing kidnapping, prior violent felony, HAC, CCP, and pecuniary gain. That's a fancy way of saying he made money off of his murder. He's sent to Florida's death row. Two things to hold on to here. The Chevron 911 call didn't just catch a man cleaning a van. It preserved the evidence that Florida needed and Georgia could leverage to find Meredith. That one call is the hinge between 3 forests and 4 courtrooms. Meredith's wrong pins weren't wrong, as we know. They were a map. They were a message, trying to slow him down, to light up the map of his fumbled efforts, make space for names and plate numbers, and eventually cuffs. It worked, just not in time for her. It worked for everyone after. After Florida, North Carolina steps in. Federal court in Asheville, 2013. Guilty pleas for Irene and John Bryant. 4 life sentences stacked on top of Georgia. No parole in the federal system. Geography, once weaponized, now becomes a net. Hilton gave a marathon interview during his interrogation. He's animated and bloviating and packed full of 4 hours of information. I'm going to release the entire interrogation as a bonus to this episode for your listening displeasure. And that's the case of a disgusting potato of a man who will rot in jail, and then any further rotting will be up to God. And yes, Gary Michael Hilton is still alive and remains on death row at the Union Correctional Institute in Florida. He's currently 77 years old. Makes you wonder sometimes why more serial killers live so long. It's ironic how many of them fear their own death after taking so many other lives so carelessly. We shouldn't judge, but some people make it far too easy. Here's to hoping that your ticker stops ticking soon, Gary, and maybe it isn't pleasant when you go. Heaven knows we've heard enough from you. And now, how about a happy ending? 2-year-old baby Rain Peterson and her several siblings had been under the guardianship of her grandparents. There was an ongoing custody battle between the great-grandparents and the children's mom when little Rain went missing sometime in the midnight hours on or after October 2nd, 2015, from the home in Bloomfield, Ohio. It was cold and October-ish outside, and nobody knew where she had gone. Did someone take her? Did she somehow slip out of the house without anyone noticing? For nearly 48 hours, an entire Ohio town searched for her. She vanished from her family's home on that Friday night, and from that moment on, hundreds of people, neighbors, volunteers, and local and federal law enforcement spent their weekend combing through fields, forests, and back roads, hoping to bring her home. They brought everything they had: helicopters, canine units, search teams on horseback, anything that could help find this missing toddler. And for 2 days, nothing. No tracks, no clothing, no solid leads, just fear and frustration growing by the hour. Then, on Sunday evening at 6:29 p.m., a volunteer searcher made a call to 911. He said he had found a little girl alone, less than a mile from where Rain disappeared. She was covered in flies. She was exhausted and crying. Here we go.
911, where's your emergency?
Hey, I found baby Rain and she's alive.
Where is she? Where are you at?
I'm on Peck Leach. Hang
Where?
on 1 sec. Whoa! I'm on Peck Leach.
Okay, where?
Right at the, just off of Route 45. If they head on Peck Leach, head west. Just west of 45, and just come on down.
Okay, hold on. Are you at the road, sir?
No, I'm off the road.
How far? Are you north or south?
I'm 1,000 feet. I'm just north of the road.
Okay, I think I have you spotted. On your phone.
Okay.
All right, hold on.
Hi, baby. Stay still.
Is she okay? Does she need an ambulance?
Can I grab her?
Okay, hold on. Hold on.
She's got flies all over her.
Hold on. She's got what, sir?
Hang on a second. What? Huh? Okay. So she's got flies all over her, but she's okay. I'm coming, honey.
Okay.
I'm just to the right of the plane. Tell
Okay.
the plane to turn this way.
Just for...
Did you send somebody down Texas?
Okay, I'm coming. They're coming. They will see you. Okay. Is she in... Describe to me what she's wearing, sir.
She's in a purple shirt and gray pants.
Okay, does she have her shoes on?
I don't know. She's got her feet in the weeds.
Is she trapped in anything?
No, she's just sitting here. She was laying down sleeping.
Okay. Child was found laying down sleeping.
Yep, there's phone poles running north and south. I'm right by him.
Hold on, he's right there, and that's exactly where he told me he was. Okay. And that's where he is.
He's off of Peck Beach Road.
Sir, you cannot hang up with me, okay?
I won't hang up.
What is your name, sir?
My name is Victor Sutton.
North of, just like a straight line from Tower.
No, I know. That's where it did.
What's that?
That's exactly where he told me. All right, and she is wearing...
She's on foot in the woods.
Yep, this is her, guaranteed, 100%.
Is she by herself, sir?
Yes.
Hold on. Yeah.
Okay. Is there anybody else with you, sir?
No, there's cars starting to line up. There's 2 white vans on Peck Leach.
Okay, he says he can see 2 white vans on Peck Leach. What are you wearing, sir?
I'm wearing brown bib overalls, and I'm on a red 4-wheeler.
Submit it.
I'm going.
What? Yeah.
West of 45.
Sheriff's Rob.
Do you have a 4-wheeler, sir?
Yes, it's a red 4-wheeler.
Yes.
Okay, and you can see 2 white vans.
I see 2 white vans, and there's a guy in a red shirt walking through the field towards me.
And there's a gentleman in a red shirt walking towards him. Okay, we're sending the ambulance too, sir. Please stay on the line with me.
Okay. You're okay, sweetheart. I swear you're going to be okay.
Is she? Can I hear? Is that her I hear?
She's just crying. Yes.
Okay, I hear her.
God.
Oh, I just got goosebumps.
Oh, my God. Me too. I couldn't give up on this kid. Thank God.
Are you able to access her, sir?
Yes. You okay, baby? Can I grab her? I don't think
he allowed to pick her up?
going on.
Is he allowed to pick her up?
She's crying.
She's crying. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, sir, yes, you may pick her up. Yes, you may pick her up.
Baby.
You were the
He's on his own.
He's on his own.
Hang on to me. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Sit there.
Don't get in.
Sit there.
You want to start heading towards the road?
Or do you want him to keep the spot?
Hi, baby. I know. I know, honey. I know, baby.
Yeah, go north.
You're so pretty. You're so pretty. You're so pretty.
Can you put your jacket or something around her, sir, to keep her warm?
Yeah, she's fine. You're okay. I see the sheriff right now.
Okay, sir, stay on the line with me.
I'm with you. You're okay. You're all right. It's okay. You're okay. You're okay. Oh, my God. Talk about luck. You're okay, darling. Honey, you're doing so good. Doing good, good girl. My baby? Yeah, they're all here now. They're heading my way. My baby? Look at that. Her name's Roxanne. Hi, Roxanne. Do you have a puppy? Do you have a puppy?
Is that Deputy Sheriff with you now, sir?
He's coming. They're about 12 of them running through the field.
They're running through the field. The sheriff.
She is. I can't believe it. She's tough, huh?
Aww.
You're doing good, darling. She's tough. You're in the rain. I bet you're in the rain, huh?
Okay.
We know rain. We can look for rain. We're looking for it. Yeah. Yeah, we can look. We should here to help you. All right. Come on. Look at all these people. You're famous. You're famous, huh? I'm going to turn her over to you.
Okay, sir, can you tell me if the sheriff is there now?
Yes, everybody's here.
All right, sir, I'm going to disconnect with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Rain was rushed to a nearby hospital, and against all odds, she survived. After nearly 2 days alone outside, a 2-year-old girl somehow held on long enough for a stranger to find her. Authorities still had a lot of questions about how she disappeared and what really happened in those missing 48 hours. But for that moment, none of it mattered. She was alive and she was safe, and a community got its miracle. Over the following months and years, all leads in the investigation into what had transpired dried up. The mother was questioned and passed a polygraph test. The great-grandparents were exonerated of any wrongdoing. A cigarette butt found near Rain's location when she was discovered was analyzed, but produced no connection into who might have taken Rain, and whether she was ever taken at all, or maybe just slipped out somehow. Fast forward years now, and her great-grandparents had won the custody battle for her and her siblings. Rain has grown up happy and healthy. It's a good way to end this episode. I'm very grateful that you've taken the time to spend it with me. Thank you. I'll be here in my padded giant diaper studio next week for another case. 2 more episodes, and we'll have arrived at the 200th episode of this podcast. That's a nice clean number. Hugs, everyone.
This has been the 911 Calls podcast with you know who.